Okay, this is what I've been working on this week. The first thing I did was I got the sides sewn onto my Bunny Hunter mystery quilt that I'm way behind on, and I printed out the picture of what the finished quilt looks like because I cannot find where my directions are yet. So I've got these done. The next step will be to lay out the sashing between them, and I'll have to use the picture to do that. Other thing I did this week was open up a whole lot. I had a whole lot of small baggies that had ordering swatches like this from the quilt store that I had bought a long time ago. So what I wanted to do is get them out of the bags. I knew I had a lot of rectangles, so I took them to Sew Day and I pulled them all out and piled them all up. And I have about 3 pounds. There's enough here for at least one, maybe two quilts. I put the, you can see how big, it's a shoebox size box. I put these all together in here, and then I had some white on white or type fabrics. I kept those separate. And then what I did was I want to make a potato chip quilt, so I found online the outline for it. I printed this off so I could get an idea of how many I would need. And then while I was waiting for my husband at the dentist office, I got some paper, scratch paper, and I drew some of these out. And I come up with two. This one here is going to make an 8-inch block because they're going to finish their 1.5 by 2.5 now, and they'll finish to 1 by 2. So this will make an 8-inch block. And I'm just going to use them as they come out, however they come, to make those. I figured if I made a 5 by 6 layout, it's going to give me a quilt that's 42 by 55-ish with, so these, and I'm going to use some of the white pieces to put around the edges. And then I saw another layout online, and this one here kind of altered. This one here has a dark center, and then there was a light row, and then another dark row. So you end up with two dark rows together, and this just light square around there just kind of sets it off and looks fine. So I'm hoping I have enough to do at least those two quilts. And oh, the other thing I was doing this week was I have been collecting neckties for years, wanting to make a quilt out of neckties. Well, I know they had to be washed, so I finally took a bunch of them, put them in the lingerie bag here, and I threw them in with a regular load of laundry, washed them and dried them to see what would happen. And surprisingly, they come out nice and clean. None of them seem to have fallen apart. There's no mask. None of them seem to have fallen apart. So I think every week when I do laundry, this one here, okay, this one here did, what is this? Yeah, this one here did start to separate, but that's okay because they're going to have to be separated anyway at some point. Some of them are silk, some of them are polyester, some of them are wool. But I just washed and dried them all. So Dave's Craft Room, he did them, and he said if they won't stand up to being washed and dried, he didn't want to use them in his quilts, and that's the way I felt too. And I was this is the first time I've looked at them since I've washed this lot. I was really surprised how well they came out. So the next step in these will be to start pulling these apart and cutting usable pieces out of them. And I will load this up again, and I will wash another load of those this week, with my next load of laundry. My biggest fear was that something in here would run, and the rest of my laundry would end up a weird color, but they didn't. They really come out. And the Christian Dior, this Puritan of Cape Cod. Yeah, I wanted to make a quilt out of ties for a long time. So now I actually can say I've got it started. It's this one here, the green one. This one doesn't look like it's lined. Yeah, it is. Ooh, this one is sparkly now that it's cleaned. Like I said, some of them are silk. Most of them say, like dry clean. No, if I can't wash it. If I can't wash it, I don't want them in my quilts because I want a quilt that can be washed. And this is a custom design. This is designed for the Sea Education Association, commissioning of the SSV Robert C. Siemens, June 23rd, 2001. It's a sailing ship there. So that's what I've been doing this week. What I need to do is get some more stuff cleaned off this table and see if I can find my rotary cutter, which seems to have disappeared as I move things around this week. So that's it. This week I'll be putting the patterns with these. I probably won't be starting to sew these, put them aside till I start my new list at the first of the year, but I will put the patterns with it. And then I have to get going on this quilt here. And that's it for this week.